Welcome to Operations Management. My name is Valerie Leonard and I'm your instructor. You'll find out more information about me and my intro in the Student Introductions Bulletin Board on the Blackboard system. We're going to go into a course intro and week 1 overview. The purpose of the course is to introduce critical topics in organizational effectiveness that are generally not found elsewhere in the C&M curriculum. And when I say C&M curriculum, I'm speaking about the Certificate in Nonprofit Management program. This is not a crash course in every facet of operations, nor could it be with just 5 weeks ahead of us. We got a lot of ground to cover over the next 5 weeks. Week 1, we'll be looking at an introduction to operations management and approaches to staffing these functions in a nonprofit organization. Week 2, we'll be looking at human resource management. Week 3 will be aligning informational technology with the organizational mission, and then week 4 we'll be looking at measuring organizational performance. Finally, in week 5 we'll be looking at the macro perspectives, or that is the big picture, that challenge traditional views on how nonprofit organizations should be managed. Upon the successful completion of this course, that is the readings, exercises, and class discussions, you should be able to explain the typical scope of operations in a nonprofit organization and identify various ways that operations management can be staffed to match the size, budget, and operational needs of an organization. You should be able to recognize the fundamentals of human resource management and articulate key legal issues that nonprofits cannot afford to overlook. You should be able to explain what it means to align information technology to an organization's mission and utilize that understanding to guide IT decision making. Finally, you should be able to articulate critical perspectives regarding the traditional assumptions about how nonprofits operate across the sector today and discuss the implications of these ideas for today's organizations. The course is structured to facilitate collaborative learning and active participation. In fact, you'll see that a significant part of your grade is participation. The format is asynchronous, which means that there's no set time for everyone to be online at the same time for a given assignment, and communication is done through bulletin boards and emails. This format provides flexibility as to when and where you study and how you interact with the materials, your classmates, and instructor. However, there are specific due dates for weekly assignments. You're required to log on to the course a minimum of 5 times a week, but as the discussions and studio activities develop, you'll probably have to log on more often. Pretty much like when you have a really interesting Facebook page discussion. You should see the course calendar for an overview of assignment due dates. The course is comprised of 5 weekly modules. Each module moves through the 4-step sequence illustrated below. You'll start off with an introduction, which will give you an overview of the subject that we're going to be discussing for the week. After that, you'll go through the readings and the resources, and based on the information that you get from the readings and resources, you'll engage in discussions where you actually cite examples from the readings, cite examples from your own personal experiences, or you could be assigned a studio assignment, regardless of whether you're doing a discussion question or studio. You're encouraged to actively participate. During our first week, we'll explore what operations management means within the context of a nonprofit organization and identify the variety of ways that operations can be staffed. At the end of week 1, assuming that you've completed all the readings and assigned activities, you should be able to explain the critical importance of operations management to achieving an organization's mission. You should be able to identify the scope of activities that constitute nonprofit operations and recognize similarities and differences between nonprofit operations and those for-profit entities. Finally, you should be able to explain the role and function of a Chief Operating Officer, or COO, and describe alternative ways in which operations management can be staffed to match an organization's structure and needs. Before you get started, I'm asking that you complete the pre-course assessment found in the Week 1 folder. It only takes a few minutes. It's really important for you to get this done before the course starts because we need to do a baseline assessment for where you believe your knowledge to be. At the end of the course, we're going to give you the same assessment, and then we'll be able to measure the rate of growth. If you haven't already posted an introduction in the discussion board, now is the time. We strongly encourage PowerPoint files, but they're not required. Photos are especially helpful for getting to know one another, and you can be as creative as you like. Some people in the past have actually done videos. We have 4 readings and resources assigned for Week 1, and they're all designed to give you a sense for what a Chief Operating Officer does, whether or not it's needed, understanding the roles and responsibilities, and then also helping you to write a description in the event that you find yourself in the need to do so. So the first assignment is the COO, an enigma to many. The second is creating the COO position. The third is COO roles and structures, stories from the field. And then the last one is Chief Operating Officer job descriptions. And these are all provided by the Bridgespan Group. Half of you will be assigned discussion questions, while the other half will be assigned a studio assignment. Assignments will be made based on your last name, and you should check the syllabus to find out the group to which you've been assigned. Responses to discussion questions should be at least 2 to 3 paragraphs, and you should respond to your classmates' posts as often as possible, so long as your comments are meaningful. We want to keep the discussion rich. You should also respond to your classmates' studio assignment posts. If you have any questions, please post them in the Talk to Valerie forum. Questions of a personal nature may be emailed to me at valeriel@uic.edu or valeriefleonard@msn.com. You're strongly encouraged to maintain communications on the bulletin boards as opposed to email. This will optimize student interaction and learning. So in closing, I welcome you once more. I'm looking forward to very vigorous discussions and rich sharing of ideas and experiences. Take care. Bye-bye.